Hello everyone and welcome back to Swing Shift Trades. So if you're new to trading, you're a complete beginner and you want to know where to start, then this channel is for you. A quick recap, I've been trading for over 4 years and I came from a background of knowing nothing up to being a competent, profitable trader. So what this channel can really offer you is a saving in time, a saving in effort, and a bit of guidance. In today's episode, I'm really going to cover 3 things, and they are, firstly, who should trade? Trading is a risky business, so it's certainly not applicable to everyone. Secondly, expectations. What should your expectations be when you start trading? That's important. And then thirdly, what I'm going to cover is just a little taster to get you started. So I'm going to show you or introduce the software that I use so that you can sort of begin to play around with the trading software, and then we can take it from there in forthcoming episodes. So I hope that's going to be useful for you to get started on your trading journey. So I'll say it once and I'll say it a million times. Short-term trading, swing trading, day trading, the statistics are pretty grim. So that's over 90% of people will not make money and are likely to lose their money, depending on the metric you look at. So do keep that in mind. Trading is hard. So with that in mind then, who should trade? So let me give you an example. You got a few £1,000s in the bank and you go, right, I need to make money quickly. This is it. This is my shot. I've heard about this trading game. I'm sure I can do it. You know, I'm good at graphs and charts. I'm going to make some real money. I need it for the family. I need it for me. That is exactly the scenario where you should not trade. So if you're getting into trading at this moment because you need to make money and you need to make lots of money and you need to make it quickly, then in my strong opinion, trading is not for you. Go elsewhere. The bottom line is, when you start to trade, you will lose money. You're going to lose money. Just accept that fact. So with that in mind, you should never trade or start trading with money you can't afford to lose. So let's brush away those negative cobwebs, shall we, and think about, okay, so who might trade? A scenario might be that you've put money away for your rainy day for yourself or your family, and you've got a bit left over. So that could be £1,000, €1,000, $1,000. But importantly, it's money that you've accepted you might lose. That's it. You might never see that money again. And as soon as you're comfortable with that and it won't have a big impact in your life, then maybe, yeah, it's a good time to start. So let's move on to point 2, shall we? Expectations. When you start trading, and then as you progress through your career and you become an experienced trader, what are your expectations? So here's something that I was quite surprised about. In the world of top-tier trading, say hedge fund traders. So these are the people at the top of their game who might be trading, raking in millions. So what is their expected return? If you dig a little into the stats, what you'll find out is that top traders are expected to earn between 10 and 20% a year. 10 to 20% doesn't sound like that much, but that's what top tier traders are supposed to earn in hedge funds. And going beyond that, elite performers are considered those traders who earn above 20%. A 20% annual return. So that's the best of the best. The best of the best are earning 20%. Anything over 20% is elite. So let's be realistic here. Before you get anywhere near that, you are going to go through a big learning curve. Part of our trading journey is to try and build ourselves up to that year on year consistently. Those expectations, I think, can be summed up is that when you first start, you'll lose money. And then over time, you'll build your strategy. And this is it, over time. And that time can stretch to years. It's taken me 4 years. But one of the main reasons why I've started this channel is I think that time period can be squished down. A lot of what we're going to cover in this channel is about squeezing that time frame down. So we've just gone through all that background. And after hearing all that, you think, you know what? I still want to trade. So what's the next step? Well, if you really want to go for it, if you really want to go down that pathway to trading, then we can help. The first thing you need to get to grips with is some charting software like I've got here. And we're going to spend a lot of time on this because this is your interface. This is where you're going to get to know the market. I think this is the right time just to introduce you to the software so that you can download it, investigate it, and then we'll talk about it more in the next video. So let's hop over to the computer, shall we? So the software that I use is called TradingView. So just put this into Google, it's probably the first thing that will come up. So I'm not sponsored by TradingView. I've bought this with my own money. I've had a really good experience from it. It's a very polished piece of software. And most importantly, there's a free version to get you started, a web version. So if I click on here on TradingView, let's see what comes up. So you'll be greeted by this page. So the first thing you might be interested in is the products from this tab. And if you choose Super Charts, then that will take you to this free web-based interface. I actually prefer the dark theme. So if you go onto this option, it's a bit easier on the eye and just turn it to the dark theme. You can see a bit better. And there's a lot going on here. So if you're an absolute beginner, this might be overwhelming. But don't worry, as we go through this program, as we go through these episodes, this will be like second nature to you in no time. So if we just go back a bit, back to their homepage, and we go back to the product tab, here, if we scroll down, you might see something here called pricing. So if you click on that pricing tab, it will show you some of the options beyond that free website. Now, the free charts have their limitations. You've got the essential, the plus, premium, and ultimate. I think the essential or the plus is sufficient for most retail traders, but that's just my opinion. But overall, this TradingView software is excellent. I've had no problems with this. And even link this up with your broker when you actually come to use real money. So we'll go again and go through that in other episodes. So I've got the desktop version here, so I'll just pull this up. So this really is the chart that I use every day on TradingView. So I've got it set up just as how I like it. So it might look very complicated, but it's actually very simple. You wouldn't believe it compared to many people's charts. The golden rule that you'll probably hear from many experienced traders is keep it simple. Keep it simple. And there's a very good reason to keep things simple, is because when you keep things simple, it enables you to be reproducible. If you've got too much going on your screen, you can't do the same thing again and again and again. And it's that consistency that's really important in trading. And if you lose that consistency, you're not able to replicate those trades, that's when a lot of people start going off the rails. Now, looking at this, it looks really complicated. So in the next episode, we'll be spending a lot more time on breaking down this chart so that you can get to understand all the different bits of this. And I think that would be really useful just to whet your appetite. Let's go through some of the main things we've got going on here. So I've got here over to the left, there's a lot of icons here. Of these, I keep it very simple. So I use trend lines a lot. I'm a trend line trader. So if we just hop over here, you can see that I've got on my chart this line here, this trend line, where I've just followed the peaks, the highs of a recent trend. So what I'm looking at is for that trend to be broken. So the take-home message here is that I use trend lines a lot. So you've got all these ways of marking up your charts. The other thing you might notice here, is this 4H, and that is the time frame that I work on. So I usually work on the 4-hour time frame. So I'm what's called a swing trader. So I look for these larger swings up and down, and hopefully this one might start going up again. So this can happen on a 4-hour chart over a long time. So the peak of the previous high was October the 15th. The reason I use swing trading over this time frame is it's not too intense. You can follow the trend and you don't have to stay all day at your computer, which is important for me because I work elsewhere also. One of the other things I use a lot is text. So I make notes on my chart so that I can remind myself what's going on with the price action. So here I've just got watch and wait. So when I first started this, what I'm really waiting for was a break in this trend when the candles crossed my trend. And then I put another note there, which was it might retest. And it did indeed. It went back down before going up. So I'm actually in this trade at the moment. And I've got another trend line here just to give me some guidance. So there's a lot you can do to mark up your charts, and we'll go into this in a lot more detail. So what else have we got here? You can see here I've got a couple of indicators. Here, something called MACD, Moving Average Convergence Divergence, all big words. So what do they mean? I think we'll go through that later. So I use one indicator called MACD and another one called RSI. These together just give me a little more confidence about when to hop in and place a trade. So I look at a combination of this price action, trend lines, and a couple of indicators. And all together, they help me justify to myself when I should get into a trade. So again, we're going to go through this and how this is set up in other videos. What else have we got here? So moving over to the right, I trade stocks and shares. Now, there's a number of reasons why at the moment I use stocks and shares. For anyone interested, it's because I do it. I'm in the UK and you can trade stocks and shares through a tax-free vehicle called an ISA. So I use stocks and shares to trade because it's tax-free. So what these abbreviations mean is just abbreviation for each company. You can flick through and the charts go up. And these are all on my watch list at the moment. So these are ones that I think might be interest to me over the coming hours and days. So I mark up my charts, find interesting stocks, and then put them on my watch list here. So again, we'll go through all this and I think it will be really useful. So when you've chosen your stock, DDD, you can see this is the chart. You can scroll in history and scroll forward, and you can see the price action going up and down here. Again, this is in the 4-hour chart. I've got my indicators up, and over to the right here, it just gives you some details that you might find useful about the company. So the share price, some of the key stats, earnings, average volume, market capitalization, all the things that you might want to know about the company. And there's some other indicators about performance over time, and these are put into the charts as well. So it's just to give you a quick overview about some of the key stats for each of these companies. Some of the information is useful. If you're a swing trader like me, a lot of it isn't. I keep things simple, but it's there if you need it. So altogether, I hope you might not be able to understand all this yet, but I hope you can see that it's quite a comprehensive but flexible piece of software. So that's really why I love this software so much. That might change in the future, but for now, this is the platform that I use. Before we leave this, there's one other thing that you might find interesting. If you go down to the trading panel tab here and press on that, what you'll see is this is for the future, but it links up with all these different brokers so that you can trade directly from this software. But one of them for a beginner is really useful, and that is the paper trading tab. So if you click on this, it will allow you to connect. This is really useful. So you've got positions here. I haven't got any open. These haven't got any orders. I've got a history here where I've just been playing around. So that will give you a history of all the trades that I've taken. It's got my balance here and a trading journal, what I've won and lost. So the point being is what you can do is at the moment, I've given myself £100,000 in here. So what I could do if I wanted is place a trade. So this is risk-free. You're trading with fake money. Isn't that great? So you'll get used to this. I'm going to take you through it again in the next video of how to place trades, but this is a fantastic place to start to get to know the software. So just to sum that bit up, what I recommend again is if you just go to the TradingView website, just have a look at their free version, their web version. You might have to sign up for it, and then just start playing around, having a look at it. That was just a bit of a taster about the charting software, so I hope you found that interesting. So in the next video, we'll go into a lot more depth because we're going to be spending so much time on these charts. They're really your bread and butter if you really want to get into this trading game. The next episode, looking into the detail, how I set up my chart, and that might act as a scaffold for you to set up yours as well, how you would like it. So once we're comfortable with the software, the next stage is to look at developing our strategy. And that is really interesting. So thanks again for watching. I really appreciate that you take the time to watch these videos. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.